Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube family? This is Sammy Legger here representing Team JVS, here to give you guys another movie review from New York Film Festival 60. This is a Netflix film. This is an adaptation from a book that people were concerned whether or not it could be translated, but Noah Baumbach said, we're going to give it a try. And I'm talking about White Noise. White Noise, again, this is a Netflix original film. I'm trying to figure out how to describe it. You have a family that is kind of like an American family. They have their own little, niches and they have their own issues. And Adam Driver plays, of course, the dad of the family, and Greta Gerwig plays the mom. But they are consistently dealing with what we all deal with in life, which is shortcomings, tragedy, death, love, uncertainty, and the uncertainty of expectations of how things are gonna go. That's the best way I can kind of say it, because it's a lot of different story threads to this. And I apologize if that was really strange how I said it. So this is also starring Don Cheadle, Judy Turner-Smith, and a slew of others. But front and center, Greta Gerwig is doing an amazing job as the mother, because one of the things about her character is she's very mysterious. Like, it seems as though she's got everything put together, but Babette is kind of like keeping things afloat, but she's keeping things at a distance. And you find out very quickly that, oh, okay, even though, wow, the apocalypse is happening, oh, wow, like, we don't know if we're going to survive this or that, she's still holding back some things. And I think that Greta Gerwig, like, there's some scenes that she does. Her and Adam Driver, there's one scene that's on a bed, and it's them dissecting each other, essentially. Not in a negative way, but more so with just the truth, the raw truth. I think that encompassed a lot about the film's characters, because each character on an individual level has got some kind of like tick. Whether it's something they've got a chip on their shoulder, whether they've got anxiety, whether they have this impending fear of death, like whatever it is, like they've got it. Inferiority complex. And I think that was a prime example of that. Like, she played it masterfully, like it to the point that like some of it you didn't even visually see. Like, she's just painting the picture for it. And I think a part of that, of course, of her partner, Noah, like they're in sync really well. Adam as Jack, he's got a lot to do, because one, physically, Adam is always in shape. Like, man, it's military. And so this guy's got a gut, like he's got a hair. He doesn't have all the answers. And at the same exact time, he's very smart. There's a conversation that happens, and it's a monologue between him. Don Cheadle played the role of Murray at a school assembly. And one is talking about Adolf Hitler, the other one's talking about Elvis. And they literally, I kid you not, act circles around each other until the vortex comes back at an impasse and it stops. It was the most unique thing I'd ever seen in a very long time, because I was like, these men are talented actors, and they're working off each other so well that this is the weird thing about that scene. As much as that scene is great acting, you also had to make sure it was filmed very well, because you're following along with one camera, following on with another one, and then you have to jump, have dialogue, have narration, have consequence, allow the audience to be able to breathe, internalize what's being said, so it's not really quick pace. Like, there's so much happening in that one scene that I was like, it's one of the best scenes of the year. It's easily one of the best scenes of the year. Also visually, the scope of this is crazy, because the thing I'll say is that there's an apocalypse situation happening. There's a cloud that's randomly coming through, and if you get too close to that cloud, you're not gonna make it. You're gonna perish. I'm not gonna say why or how, but it's like literally like it's the apocalypse is about to happen, supposedly. And the family is kind of stuck, because they're at home. There's a scene where they're literally at home, eating, and the dad's listening to the news and he's in denial, mom's in denial, the kids are like, we need to do something, they're calling, and it plays off so well because it's really quick and spontaneous comedy, but it's a very serious tone. The last movie that I felt like did that perfectly was Triangle of Sadness. I think that was the perfect measure of dark comedy. But that specific scene and a lot of other scenes, when it starts to go to the horrific side of this impending doom for everybody, it plays off of dark humor pretty well. And I think that the entire cast plays off each other very well as well. I think Sam Nivela, he plays the role of Hemorrhage. I think he does a pretty interesting job of standout. Andre 3000 is in it for a little bit, but they don't really utilize him that much at all, which is really surprising. But the reason why I brought up that specific scene is because they do spend some money on some CG to show you, yeah, this is a real threat. It's a real danger that's coming. You need to be ready for it. And it kind of threw me off. This is where the crux of the movie it kind of meets its impasse for me. I felt like there were great scenes, great acting moments. I felt like if this was based on a book, like this must have been a crazy read. And I think that the translation of it by Noah, he did a great job to make sure he set up blocks for the actors, position them in certain scenarios, and also tell something through the story. Because at the end of the day, like, these are all human consequences of action. Like, you make a decision, and it's not just you that has to live through it. Like, it's the people around you, and there's consequences to your actions, even the things that you say, even the small little things that you don't do, and I think that they play that up pretty well in that. I just don't know what that looks like for as far as the translation, because it got so many different places where sometimes it could be a horror, sometimes it could be, dark comedy. There are times where it just feels really dramatic and really dark. There's times where it's just like kind of almost like a fever dream kind of situation. And it doesn't, to me, the film itself doesn't know where it needs to lean into. Tonally, I think it keeps consistently the same tone. Even like down to the color grading, it feels the same. I don't know if what would have helped because Danny Elfman does a great job with the score. Like, he murders the score. He does a really good job with it. But I don't know if, because of the era and the timing, like, I don't know. It's just hard because I don't know if it lands on segment to transition. So when it transitioned to a different subject matter or a space where they want the story to go, I just don't feel like it lands like it really should. Like, I think it's going to be disorienting from people. And I think that when people want to be able to laugh, or when people want to be horrified, or people want to be like, they can't be able to stay in that lane because it's going to move so quickly. And when it moves, like, it may not even come back at all. And I think that's the even more surprising thing. But I don't know if that's the structure of the way the book is or the translation. But something was lost in translation with this, unfortunately. I'd rest this at a 6.5 out of 10. I definitely think it's worth watching because, again, some of the scenes are just amazing. But I feel like, in hindsight, thinking over it, like, there were things that I was like, man, this is a lost opportunity. Could have done this, could have done that. But again, this is also based on books. That's why I can't diminish it, but so much, because they literally said, I can't remember who posted it up, but this was one of the hardest and one of the books that they didn't think could be adapted that well. But I think that Noah made a good run for it, and he had definitely the talent around for it. It's just, I don't know. I was hoping for a little bit different and a little bit more digestible. I think that's the biggest thing, because I think what they presented wasn't, the issue. It was more so, how do I receive it? How do I internalize it? What do I pull from it? Because I can pull a lot of great scenes. Even the last scene, oh my gosh, there's an actor at what is his name? I think it's Lars Edgriger. And his character, Oh my gosh, he chews up scenery. And again, there's so many moments like that, but as a whole, would I go back through this and be able to truly comprehend and get something from it? I think that's where I'm rested. My 6.5 out of 10 for White Noise. Definitely go and check it out. I think it's something you can't miss, but at the same time, definitely go and check out some of our coverage for it. I can't wait for you guys to see some of the interesting things that we got for it. I'll talk to you guys soon, though. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Peace, everybody.